Hi, thank you for listening to Reverse Investment Channel. I'm Chi Yao. After years of low interest rates and currency printings, the global economy has been actually deteriorating. Unlike the promises from central bankers and governments, expansionary monetary policies have not benefited the public. The economic growth is sluggish and debt problems are out of control. Do we need another round of QE? Will the monetary policy work? A little background on the central banks. The most common mandates for central banks are stable price, maximum employment, and stable currency exchange rate. The dual mandates for the Fed is the stable price and maximum employment. The tax sounds reasonable for an entity with the power to print money. Later on, somehow central banks around the world decide the stable price level refers to a mild inflation, preferably 2%. They claim the 2% mild inflation encourages an economy to grow. And somehow, deflation will make people to hold on to their money. And a decrease in consumer spending will decrease business profits, leading to more unemployment, which further reduces consumer spending, causing the economy to keep shrinking. Therefore, central banks have the tendency to print money. First myth is the central banks can keep the maximum employment. Only one sentence is needed to bust the myth. The society was actually closer to the maximum employment before the founding of the central banks than the past few decades. True, the labor participation rate before the Fed may not be as high as today, and that's because one paycheck was able to afford a family, so women didn't have to work. The reason why printing money will increase employment is because simply writing numbers on a piece of paper doesn't change wealth. The monetary policy is a simple redistribution of wealth from one party to another, and resources are misallocated. If resources are wasted, wealth will decrease, and so goes the employment. Second myth is the stable price of the magic 2% inflation rate encourages our economy to grow. Deflation is the product of nature. As the society becomes productive, the price goes down. The central banks are printing money to prevent the natural occurrence from happening, as they think deflation is destructive. Let's take central banks out of equation. People's needs are unlimited, and people want everything. If we don't spend, the value of the money goes up. The same money will end up buying more products. If everyone saves money, the cost of borrowing goes down. When the borrowing cost is so low and the value of the money is so high, people will take advantages of the low interest rate and borrow money to spend. And the return for saving also goes down. People will tend to spend as the incentive to save drops. The fact that a severe deflation can be dealt by the free market within a very short period of time than a hyperinflation is a proof of occurrences of free market can be easily dealt versus a man-made disaster. Let's take central banks back on the table. Inflation is a result of money printing. Central banks' printing money policy enriches the people with access to new money by taking the value away from the rest. In a society, basic rules of don't lie and don't steal. Has anyone gotten any consent from the rest to take the value of their money away? Third myth is the monetary policy helps the economy to reach its full potential. What's the consequences and the going of the monetary policy? when the monetary policy is expansionary. At the beginning, people feel wealthy because the prices of assets go up. The low interest rate gives the incentive to speculate. Resources that can be used to produce wealth end up being wasted. Later on, we have higher assets price, but the real wealth actually decreases. As monetary policy gets loosened, more and more speculations happen. As low interest rate severely interrupts the perception of the risks, speculation starts causing market boom. At the same time, debts are accumulated in the system, and risks go up. Thanks to Mr. Market, the market is very efficient, and it will provide supply to meet the excess demand. When free market takes over and pops the bubble, the central banks charge in and try to prevent the free market from fixing the imbalance. Central banks again tilt the balance to the demand side through its monetary policy. The market starts booming again, and so later happens the bust. The circle begins. However, each time the problems become bigger, and central banks print more money, and the system takes on more debt, like Fibonacci number. Until so many resources are wasted, and the wealth gets destroyed, and people will finally realize they have little hope for the future. And what's next? To wrap it up, the monetary policy didn't work in the past, and never will it work in the future. It's a path to destruction. We can choose to let the free market reverse the course now for bad pains, or maintain the speculations for the future wars to come. Embrace the free market and some money. Thank you for listening to Reverse Investment Channel. This is Chi Yao, signing out for now.